How come nobody ever told me about Coke Zero?
I didn't know we had to inform you of the new products that Coca-Cola was coming out with. That's pretty old.
What's up with
Excellent.
What's up with this Mountain Dew?
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 series. Today we're going to be covering episode number 92 of the Transformers, titled, The Face of the Nijika. Air date November 20th, 1986, the day before my oldest stepdaughter's birthday.
Mark it on your calendars.
Send me a gift, which I will give to her and claim as mine own. She likes song, singing, music stuff. Thank you.
Song sings.
Let's see here. Intro. Write a 250-word synopsis of the movie Three Kings.
Oh, God.
But replace Chief Elgin with Aaron, replace Sergeant First Class Troy Bartlow with Ryan, and replace Major Archie Gates with Caleb. Give it a humorous tone. Write it from the first-person perspective of Aaron. Title, Three Kings, The Misadventures of Aaron, Ryan, and Caleb.
He did it.
The story kicks off with Aaron, Ryan, and Caleb, a trio of mismatched soldiers stationed in the Gulf War. Bored out of our minds, we stumble... I like how it switches from third person to first person.
It's not perfect.
Bored out of our minds, we stumble upon a map leading to stolen gold hidden in the desert. You heard that right, folks. It's a treasure hunt in the middle of a war zone.
Oh, my God.
Talk about making the most of a bad situation. With dollar signs in our eyes, we embarked on a journey filled with hilarious misadventures. Picture Aaron, the tough guy with a heart of gold, cracking one-liners and keeping us grounded. Ryan, the lovable goofball, manages to stumble into trouble at every turn. And Caleb, the smooth-talking leader, tries to keep us on track while juggling his wit and charm.
You're George Clooney?
I'm Ice-T, right?
Ice Cube, you mean?
It's racist that you got that wrong.
Yes.
I think I'm Ice Cube.
Yeah, Aaron's Ice Cube.
I'm Clooney. That's cool.
But this is no walk in the park, my friends. We encounter crazed Iraqi soldiers, wacky characters, and even a raging sandstorm that puts our teamwork to the test. As the gold inches closer, so does the danger, but we never lose sight of our goal or our humor.
So, there's no Mark Wahlberg, or
I think you're Mark Wahlberg.
am I? So
Yeah.
Spike Jones isn't in this.
Not in this. Nope. There's only three of us, Ryan.
I'd rather
I got shot in the chest.
Three Kings is a hilarious blend of action, comedy, and camaraderie that will keep you laughing from start to finish. So buckle up and get ready for the most uproarious treasure hunt in war movie history.
I haven't seen that in ages.
I did tell it to have a humorous tone, but the movie itself is not that
funny.
humor. I think there's some funny moments, but
sure.
it does not have a humorous tone.
I like when they're driving up listening to what the fuck is that song? They're in the car and they're listening to a funny they're listening to a song as they drive into this place. Okay.
I don't know. I haven't
It's a
seen
really
that
funny-
in like
it's a really funny
15
scene.
years.
I recall it being a really, really good movie.
Yeah, it is.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I also like the cinematography because it was filmed on like I can't remember the name of the film, but it's basically like the wash that they do on it puts a weird like ultra black background. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I do remember the scene where they're looking at fancy cars and like making a decision on which of the automobiles they're gonna take off to finish their mission.
The tensillary strength of this bag will not hold that gold. He used to be. He worked for the airline.
Yeah. Three Kings. Intro brought to you by ChatGPT.
Our soon-to-be overlords and masters.
Thank you for penning that for me on my behalf. Let's see. To the listener, it's only been 2 weeks since they've heard from us, but to us, it's been like a month and a half since we've all been together. Ryan, what's up with Iceland?
I'm glad you asked. I have presents.
Excellent.
Is this the time for that?
Why the fuck not?
Let's do
Gimme.
it.
You brought it up.
So Ryan went to Iceland.
I
Yeah.
did. I was in Iceland. We We're there for about a week. There was a day of travel on either side, basically. The only real trauma was on the way out. We were supposed to fly from Springfield to Atlanta, and about an hour into the flight, we got directed to Memphis because the generator in the tail of the plane just was not working. And so we were in Memphis for 9 hours.
Oh, God.
We got to Iceland at the same time we were planning on it. It's just the connections were compressed from that point forward.
Right. Was there any stress of missing a connection, or was it like, did you have at least an hour?
We did. The only, like, coming back, there was one where we only had 40 minutes, and the plane, we were the last ones on the plane. Getting back, but going out, it was fine. The only I forget that when you travel internationally, like coming back to JFK, you have to go back through security, and that fucking sucks.
Yeah, because
that was ridiculous.
You got to recheck your bags and everything.
Yeah, we didn't check any bags.
Oh, that's good.
Which was good.
How did you manage that? How long were you guys gone?
We were there a week.
Just wearing a lot of stanky ass
I had, yeah. I just took one pair of everything. I had like 5 different changes, and we had, a personal item and then a carry-on.
I could easily pack a week's worth of stuff in a backpack. I'm good with that. I'm on Ryan's
team. You guys
team.
are better than me.
It was heavy, but yeah. It was good. It was cool being in a place with 24 hours of daylight. We were right in the middle of Reykjavik on that main drag where all the shopping and everything is at the Vintage Hotel Apartments, which they were putting in a bar whenever we were there, so we got there a couple months too early.
Oh.
But yeah, Iceland's pretty expensive, but not much more expensive than if you go to like a major U.S. city. It's just all the meals are about $30-$40.
Oh, not too bad.
Remind us how you settled on Iceland.
West really wanted to go. I mean, that was where she wanted to go.
Did she have some Nordic culture that she wanted to check out?
I don't really, nah. I don't know. She just liked the idea.
Lots of hipsters like to go to Iceland.
We went to, some hot springs. We did a cool spa, which was a hot spring, the Sky Lagoon. They have this cool 7-step ritual. And then went to see some geysers, and that was cool because there's this place, not the geyser place, but there's a place where we were hiking around at a national park, and the whole thing was just filled with old murder stories. It's like, oh, that's the Hanging Rock. Oh, this is where they put bags over women and drown them. Cool. Yeah. That was fucking awesome. Hot dogs, very big in Iceland.
But with lamb?
Usually lamb or pork or beef, but mostly lamb. Like the place we went was the main hot dog place that was opened in like 1937.
Oh wow!
Is lamb the dominant animal protein?
Yeah. Like lambs, like sheep roam pretty much free in Iceland. You have to watch for them on the roads, and so every like place has lamb dishes. So that was cool. I had some good ones at this place called Meat. It's just called Meat. They had a good lamb dish there. But yeah, the hot dog place we went to, Bill Clinton was there in 2004, but like a sucker, he ordered his hot dog with mustard instead of with everything like you're supposed to. I think what they're with everything is like Icelandic mustard, crispy onions, raw onions, a remoulade made with like capers and mayonnaise, and then ketchup that is sweetened with applesauce.
Sounds delicious.
It was really good.
Delicious.
It was really good.
You fucked up.
What would you say is Icelandic mustard as opposed to like American mustard?
I think. Did I write it down?
Spicier? Does it have a little horseradish?
No,
in
it wasn't. I can't tell you.
Okay, that's okay.
We were playing. Like West actually just fell asleep, but I went to a place called Pablo Disco Bar.
That's really funny.
Which was a nightclub that was mainly like it's kind of a gay hangout for both men and women, but like it was very cool. But I mean, everything there's kind of small, but like it was neat. That was the interesting thing. Everybody who goes out like is really dressed up, like the men mostly in particular. A lot of suits, a lot of sport jackets, vests. Things of this nature, but like the streets were crazy on that weekend. Whenever I went out, just like I decided to just randomly go out, and like it was night and day from the way it was like during the week. I mean, the interesting thing is there's a Sbarro. Like Sbarro is very big over there, and there was a Sbarro that was on the main drag, and there were just like pizza cartons everywhere all over the street that were just discarded.
Oh wow.
Also, being like 1 a.m. and still daylight, that was interesting.
Yeah. What's your take on that? I've never experienced
It was great. I loved it.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, we kept our basic sleeping schedule. We kept just saying like we were going to get up at 3 a.m. and take pictures and stuff like that when nobody was on the street, but we didn't.
No.
I went to a place called the Lebowski Bar, which was about the Big Lebowski, which was strange.
Was it a good bar? Did they do it justice?
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Like, it was fine to experience,
Don't get
but
out
it's
of your
like,
way for it.
I don't need to spend $30 on a White Russian.
Right.
But it was cool. It was very, like, basically the deco of everything was very cool. Like, they commit to, like, we also went to this place, this Lemmy Bar, which was an arcade/restaurant that just seemed to keep going into the infinity. Like, the further you walked into it, it has an open courtyard in the middle of it. It was awesome. It was pretty good. We rented a car. That's where we got off and went to the Golden Circle for a couple of days. And
how was the fish? Did you have any herring or anything? I don't know if that's.
I've had better.
Or not. Really?
It was. I found it very. I did have that. I did have the fermented shark. It was not as bad as I thought it would be, but I'm like, we don't need to eat this. Like, there's no reason to. Also, I had some cognitive dissonance about it because it's the Greenland shark, which is a very slow-growing shark, and the harvesting of it is questionable. But I also found out, like a week ago, that Iceland has decided to suspend their whaling for the season because they serve whale on a bunch of menus, and then also puffin, which is not.
It's a bird, poultry.
It is a bird. It's a seabird. Like it's the ones who look like Toucan Sam, but seabirds, and they're vulnerable in the Icelandic area, and so I was like, but it's also weird because they have like stuffed puffins everywhere. So like, it's strange.
Yeah.
Give me, I can
Like
eat
taxidermy?
one. No, like
A toy.
toys.
Okay.
So let me give you some stuff.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Let's see.
So,
what we
what
got.
you would recommend people to go? Right?
If you want to, I mean, if you have a desire to go to Iceland, I wouldn't like go there if you have no like desire to go there. Like,
I would think there's some beautiful vistas. I mean, I know you're in the city, but I would imagine outside the city, or maybe you can even see within the city, the landscapes, the mountains.
yeah, if you
all
like
that stuff.
that sort of thing.
But you're not. You're not real. You seemed like you were more interested in like the urban aspect.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool doing the hiking and stuff like that for like it was like basically one day that we did that, and that's enough for me.
I would be more into going and seeing the natural stuff. I would be all about that.
The Sky Lagoon spa was really cool too, like because it
Yeah.
has like it's heated water and you're outside and like there was an infinity pool out into the ocean.
Yeah.
That was really cool, and
I
booze.
I would definitely do that. I hear there's hot springs everywhere. As a culture, they like getting in and going to spas.
Yeah, and then, there's like I mean, there were a lot. Actually, ovens were not that popular up until like the mid 20th century because a lot of people just used the volcanic heat in the ground where they lived to cook things like bread and stuff like that.
It's fascinating.
I got
All right, let's see what
here's
we got.
some weird candy bars I grabbed. These you can pick whichever one you want.
Lacris bitter.
Super set.
Apples in
So, I've got-
Colorado
so
og lacris.
We got the licorice bitter. All right, so like it's basically a chocolate with black licorice.
Pretty much all the candy has some kind of licorice. They're they love licorice over there.
And this is Somerset.
We got some salty licorice candies that were, I was like, I don't know that this is safe to consume. And we looked it up and it's
not.
sorta. I mean, they're like, yeah, but, if you drink too much, that's not good for you either. It has like ammonium chloride or something like that.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm already feeling uncomfortable because I did not bring anything to Ryan back from.
I was
That's-
going to make a
vacation.
joke about that.
That's okay. I don't buy you guys birthday or Christmas presents, really, so
Okay.
it
I
doesn't
feel like you
matter.
do. All right, let's try each of these. Let's all try. We've got the Somerset with the word apple in the beginning, so maybe there's an apple flavor, and then you've got the bitar. This appears like almost like a chocolate.
I'm really strict about I'm really picky about my chocolate. Good chocolate.
That was a cool thing. We had a bonus.
This is just layers I guess
it has
it's
licorice over top of
on
it.
the top of it. Yeah,
Interesting. It's a deconstructed candy bar.
I like that it's just a faint amount. The licorice isn't overwhelming. It's more of a light seasoning. really annoying.
There was a cool, just down the street, this place called,
cool.
they have a string of supermarkets that are like affordable supermarkets called Bonus. And I used to go there about every day to get something, like just because we had also a kitchenette, so we ate in a couple of times, like usually for lunch or whatever. We went to this place called the Icelandic Phallological Museum, which is the largest collection of penises in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I recall a famous person's penis being put on the Discord.
Oh yeah, Jimmy. Well, it's Jimi Hendrix, cast of Jimi Hendrix penis.
Right.
It's not, but there you have a couple human penises there. It's mostly animal penises, and there's a documentary about this guy that I think you guys can find as well. I brought you each a button from that place. That place was cool, and it's like they also have a little bar, and like you can get penis-shaped waffles for like lunch and stuff like that. You guys don't have to choose between these. I got you some magnets. I just thought those were fun.
These are
That's the
puffins.
church. It's a puffin that is like Godzilla destroying the church. That's like the famous church that's in in Reykjavik.
Wow.
Godless
love it.
puffin.
Man, I love these. Ryan, you're getting you're batting 1,000 with these gifts.
If you remember from our holiday episode several years ago, we did the Icelandic Yule lads.
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those guys for myself. That's Sausage Swiper. Oh, and then you guys can choose between your salts.
Icelandic salt holiday and Icelandic salt hot volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm kind of leaning towards the hot volcano. It's got chili flakes, Icelandic salt flakes, crowberry sap,
You need that crowberry. That's what makes the salt.
and then this other one is Icelandic. This holiday version has got the salt, rose pepper, and rosmarin.
I don't know what makes that holiday, but
Rosemary and like some sort of rose pepper.
rosemary salt sounds good to me. Hook
All
me
right,
up.
I'll take the hot volcano.
Oh, I got. This is just some weird
Stupid
little
regulations.
troll guy I got for Melody. So that's some Icelandic
kind.
troll for
Very
her.
kind, Ryan. This is great. Thank you so much.
I love it. It's adorable. I would like to go to Iceland, but I would love to see the city, but I would probably prefer to spend my time in the vistas.
I want to go. I want to go see an active volcano.
There was also like kind of wanted to go to see a black sand beach, but that was like a 5-hour round trip. And then a volcano, we would have had to hike like 10 miles, and so we only had the car for 2 days. Yeah.
I'm glad you made it. You did what you wanted to do.
And I think I guess we'll probably skip a year. I don't know what our next foreign destination will be, but we're definitely going to get the global. What is that? Not even TSC pre-check, but the global
I think it's
entry
Global
thing.
Pass.
Yep,
Global Pass. That's
When I
it.
came back
Maybe
into the States from our trip that we'll talk about, I really wished we would have had the global dealie. It would have saved us like 45 minutes.
Yep, that's about what it was at JFK, and it was like it's so stupid because it is like a theater of like illusion, because it's like there's no way you're checking these people for anything. Like there's hundreds of people going through here an hour. It's like this is all just imaginary. Like there's, and when you leave,
When they literally just have you walk through a thing.
yeah.
And then
And
send you
I
on your way.
100% the people, like when Wes and I went through, like they didn't even send us through anything. They just had like waved us through. Like we didn't go through the detector. We didn't go through a metal detector or anything. They just waved us past the gate because they were backed up. And I'm like, this is pointless.
Coming back.
That's it.
Coming back from one of my honeymoons, we ended up having to stay a day in Charlotte because we got stuck in customs coming back through. It is a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I refused to pay for everybody in my family to have global. Everybody already had pre-check.
Mm-hmm.
So I refused to do global pass for 4 people in my family, 2 of which probably will travel international every 5 years or so. And so we just stayed an extra night in a hotel going there and coming back so that we didn't miss any flights.
Where did you guys go, first of all?
All right,
We're
so-
we're transitioning to your vacation.
Talk about us now.
So we went on a trip about the same time as Ryan. We left a little early. We were gone for a week. Aaron and I went to Turks and Caicos along with our families, and we went to see it was a destination wedding. Aaron's brother-in-law now.
But I guess I would say it was my sister-in-law's wedding, but
Yeah.
So weird.
Sorry.
I now have a brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I guess. How does that work? Does your sister-in-law's husband, are they your brother-in-law?
I don't know, man. I'm
All
just
right,
trying
whatever.
to set
We
up
don't have
the
to
trip,
do
man.
labels.
So we went to an all-inclusive resort. We've been planning it for 2 years, saving up. It was like 40 people went or more. I had a really good time. It's some of the most beautiful beach I've ever seen. Real calm, warm water, clear. The beach for me, of course, the resort's called Beaches. So like that was my favorite part of it. And there was like a bunch of restaurants, like 20 restaurants that you could go to. And we tried. I think we ended up hitting up like half of them during the time we were there. There was,
I didn't criticize, but I mentioned Ryan didn't leave the city really, but we didn't leave
the resort.
the resort.
Yeah, there was. Well,
it's not like I went around looking for
culturally-
vistas.
Culturally, on this particular island, there wasn't any old settlement.
Mm-hmm.
It basically was used. It was like for salt harvesting, and then Club Med came in there in like the 70s, and then other resorts started, doing the same kind of thing. And so now it's basically you're going there to see the beach. There's a lot of scuba diving there, and a lot of snorkeling, which is great. But on the island itself, there's not a lot of things to do off the resort.
I'd have to fact check this, but I think the indigenous people that lived there are gone, like extinct.
Yes,
like I
most-
think.
They called them I think it was called Taino or something like that. But when the Spanish came in, they enslaved them, and smallpox killed them. And basically, your indigenous populations on Cuba.
So par for the course.
Yeah, any indigenous populations that were like basically on Cuba or like Hispaniola or in the area, they were wiped out. They were gone. They've been gone for a long time.
Iceland was just white people,
Yeah.
so it was all cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we had a
Take
really
that a
good
couple
time.
ways.
Ate well. I would
It's actually more diverse
my
than you'd imagine.
my
but go
flight home. My flight there was fine. My flight home. There was a delay flying out of the island itself, and then that ended up making us miss our connection in Fort Lauderdale, which in retrospect we would have probably missed our connection in Fort Lauderdale anyways, just because we had to re-enter through customs and go through that whole process, which took like an hour or more. So we went that day. We went from Turks to Fort Lauderdale to Nashville to St. Louis, and then I drove from St. Louis back here. So we got back to we pulled into Nixa at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I completely refuse to fly out of anywhere but Springfield.
For a bargain, I'll do
We
it.
I won't.
we
I'll
did.
pay like an extra $400
Okay,
to not
well,
drive.
I do the math to see if I'm losing out in gas and rent before I make that
I had
call. But
Yeah, well, if I was on my own, maybe, but I had to. There was 4 of us,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, childless,
yeah,
baby.
yeah. But and then the boys,
you had
boys
all
had
those
to get up.
abortions.
That's personally.
The boys had to get up to go to school because if they would have missed any more summer school, they would have had to drop their classes. So went to bed about 4:45. Woke up 2 hours later. Took the boys to school, and I went to work, and I just sat there catching up on emails. People that talked to me that day they said that I was kind of out of my mind while I was working. I just was like a zombie.
I can imagine.
Are you my mother?
Yeah. So it was a good time. Aaron, I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, it was great.
Saw some
Aaron,
pictures.
Yeah, it was the prettiest beaches I've ever seen.
Mhm.
They were good.
I think Ryan probably his vacation had a much better cultural experience. Ours was
Yeah, I used
Just
to
to chill. I
There,
guess.
you do say that like we didn't go do anything outside
I
the
didn't
city,
mean
which
that.
we did.
Yeah.
We did, but also like there is a lot of shit to do in the city, like to see, because half of the country's population lives in Reykjavik.
Yeah, I didn't mean that to
No, I
imply
know.
that you just did nothing.
But yeah, culturally it was very cool to see all that stuff. But
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, so good for us.
Culturally,
It was cold.
We hung out with. I mean, you basically have people from all over the Caribbean, the Dominican, Jamaica, that come to work at these resorts, and they have this one at least had really amazing nighttime entertainment. Like,
Yeah, it was really good.
Singing, dancing, emceeing of the show. Like, it was all really good.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there questioning, like, I wonder if this is just a traveling troupe of entertainers, and maybe they go from resort to resort because each night is a different theme. There
was a Jamaican night,
Rasta night,
yeah.
Like different things. And so I thought maybe there's just different troops that specialize in this form of entertainment, and they go from resort to resort. And then as I started to pay attention, I noticed that people serving me at different points were on stage earlier that night, and I was just, man, as good at entertainers as these people are, but yet they're just here for the hotel, and maybe I guess the hotel has positions that you're a bartender and a dancer.
Well, maybe it's like at Joe's Crab Shack where you are a waiter and also you get to come out and sing to the Austin Powers theme or whatever.
Well, and probably, I think they're there, on contract, and they probably are encouraged and can opt in to take certain jobs that way. But like, I had a guy, we watched a guy more than one night, that was a great singer, entertainer, was an MC, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then the next day, he's the one that gave me and Harrison our shuffleboard supplies at the little sports shack.
Juxtaposition of talent.
They're there to make money, and and money's and it's.
I wonder if they make more money on the nights they're entertaining. I would
hope so.
Well, but who knows? I mean, or they're just employed by the resort, and they.
I would think they'd have
man,
to
if it was a
be
flat
making,
salary, that would be
well,
shitty.
I don't know, but I would hope so that they're making more money.
Caleb and I had a funny exchange with a bartender. One of the
This
nights.
is a good story.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
glad
have
you
not heard
remember
this.
this. Yeah, Aaron, just tell the story. It's so good.
I don't know if I can remember it with specificity. We were ordering. There was 4 or 5 of us at a table.
We were at the pool. No,
we were at the bar by the pool. Which
yes.
was a late night bar for adults. So we're in this bar, and we're at I think there's a table of 5 of us, and we get everybody's drink order.
Mm-hmm.
We go up to a bartender. I can't remember that. I think I wanted a vodka club soda with a little cranberry juice. Caleb wanted a scotch, scotch and soda, and then maybe there was one more drink.
There was like a rum drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe bourbon, beer.
So we placed the order.
We
placed the order.
We're talking to each other like bullshit.
So we were expecting to get 5 cocktails back, and he brings back 2 cocktails and a beer. Right? Did you get a beer?
Just 2 cocktails, and then we kind of looked at him, and Aaron he kind of looked at us, and Aaron said, "I also ordered a cranberry with club soda," and the guy was like, "Club soda?" And Aaron was like, "Yeah, cranberry." So then he took the club soda thing and he put club soda in both drinks.
Oh dear.
So what we realized is that the guy took all of what Aaron said and combined them into 2 drinks.
What the fuck?
Granted, the service was impeccable the whole time. There was really good bartenders there, but for some reason, that guy, that night.
We were imagining it was like, this is his first 2 or 3 days on the job. Or maybe he's not normally a bartender.
Yeah.
They needed somebody to fill
He was
in.
a juggler.
They
just slotted in.
You can hold up the drink. You can hold up the drink and see the layers.
Did you try it?
We drank it.
I
We
just
drank the
drank
whole
it.
thing. We didn't make a thing out of it. We drank the drinks and then came back and
they're free,
and
right?
the other
Everything's free.
The other bartender.
So
gave
I
us
drank
what
some
we
of it and
really
came
wanted.
back later, and I drank a lot of scotch that week. They had Glenlivet, and it was just like, I'm gonna find the most expensive thing here and just drink that all week. I drink a lot of scotch.
Drink a lot of vodka club sodas just because I was trying not to be hungover.
You did pretty good. I never really saw Aaron like out of control or anything.
The first night when we went to the dance, did you go to the dance club?
No.
We went to, there's a dance club on site. I got a little drunk on night 1. The only other thing exciting that I did was some snorkeling. So they took us out into the reefs. There was about 10 or 15 of us on the boat, and I got to see some sharks. Everybody was paranoid about sharks because there was a shark attack in the very cove that we were that popped up on the media days before we left. And so we'd already booked this boat trip, and all the kids and everybody is like, we're not going out there now. And I'm like, it's like a 1 in a million.
Yeah.
Like, you probably have a better chance of getting struck by lightning.
It's almost like saying lightning already struck there. We're going to be good for a while.
That was the argument I tried to use against them. Like, I found the stats. Nobody had ever died from a shark attack, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're out on the boat, and everybody changes their mind once we're out there and goes snorkeling. But I started talking to the captain and the first mate on the boat, and they said that this shark attack, which was global headlines, but it wasn't actually a shark attack, and that a rich guy was out on his boat. He hired an unlicensed captain to do it on the cheap, and his daughter was in the ocean, and the captain did something fucked up, started up the boat when he shouldn't have or whatever, and a prop took her leg off. She lost her foot, I think, like below the shin.
Well, that's very
different. Is what
different.
happened. Even the media reported that. They said the shark took her foot off. The shark attack thing was a cover-up, because otherwise this guy would have gotten in big trouble with the government for hiring an unlicensed guy and all that. So I don't know how true that story is or not. That's just what the fucking boat guys said.
Okay.
I don't know why they would make it up, but whatever.
Well, if you can trust a person on a boat, like a boat worker.
That's boat law.
That
Always
is-
be truthful.
Right. Always be trustful. Yeah.
I don't know.
I had
did
a
we do
funny-
anything? What else did we
I
do?
had the other funny thing happened. This is all visual, so this won't translate across, but I have to share
Good.
this with you guys. When we were at one of the receptions, there was this guy. I'd already eaten. I've been, eating all the time. This guy, like this server was like, he offered me something on a plate. So you're gonna be mean. You're gonna say no thanks. He goes, "Sir, would you like some, whatever?" And now you answer no thanks. I'm full.
Okay.
Let's
I
try
didn't
that-
know I
let's
was
try-
part of the
let's try this
play.
again. Let's try this again. Sir, would you like an hors d'oeuvre?
No. This is really good for the podcast.
I know I told you it wouldn't be, but I had to share that story while I remembered it.
Caleb
Yeah, it
stares
was
intensely
like-
at Ryan and
it was
slowly
like,
pulls the platter, the imaginary platter,
what's that?
away. So Turks and Caicos, marriage, beach, fish,
It was good.
snorkel,
We got
alcohol,
So much has
Either a
happened.
shark attack or some kind of guy who.
or a made-up story. And then when we got back, there was a real shark attack that happened north of Egypt where a guy got fucking devoured, and it was caught on tape, and I haven't seen it, although I am very curious. But there was nothing anybody could do about it, and a guy I think it was a tiger shark, just
Okay.
like captured a guy and
Oh yeah, well,
ripped him up.
I mean, hey, while we're on nautical things, I'm definitely I love all the orcas attacking the boats lately. That's
I
fucking
just
awesome.
saw a headline on that. So what's the detail, or is that all there is?
No,
Orcas
it's
attacking boats.
it's basically it's cultural. It's a bunch of orcas have. It's been spread. This one female orca was injured by the prop of a boat, and
Allegedly.
okay.
It was probably a cover-up.
And like
she was attacked by a shark.
the pod she was with has been attacking boats, and now it's spread like culturally to other pods who started attacking like the rudders of boats and stuff like that, and that seems to be something that's spreading culturally. It's just like because orcas
Orca memes.
have done things culturally where like there was this one who started wearing a dead salmon on her head for a while, and it became like
Style?
yeah, it was like a style for the summer where other orcas started wearing dead salmon on their head. So I'm just like, yeah, fuck up those boats.
That's great.
I need to read the papers on how this stuff spreads within orca culture. What's the what? How intelligent? I mean, they're mammals. I assume they're intelligent.
They're dolphins.
Are they as smart as like a 4-year-old,
Yes.
5-year-old,
Yes.
10-year-old?
Smarter than your sister. I don't know. Yeah, they're intelligent. They're plenty intelligent. Obviously, they are intelligent enough to communicate. Hey, let's fuck this boat up.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
There was one other thing that we did. This was a trend, speaking of trends spreading, that Caleb and I started, which I need to figure out how to bring back in real life. Caleb and I went to the gym one day. We did some working out. And at the gym was on the...
Part of a spa.
Part of a spa. And in that spa, for free or for at no additional cost, they had a sauna, a steam room, and a hot and cold plunge. And so... basically every day from that point on,
We discovered it.
Caleb and I discovered it, and then we would do sauna, steam, hot, cold, and it is like
Cold. By cold, it was like 40 degrees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did the same thing at the spa.
changes your whole day. So invigorating.
I enjoyed
You
it.
could
I
be
didn't like
hungover. If you were hungover and did it, I feel like you'd come out ready to work.
I didn't like it during it, but I liked the results of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I do like it.
so guys so people that on our trip we would tell them about, and they kept joining us. So finally we just like more and more guys.
And so he started a group chat called Schwitzing, and it was
Schwitz,
dedicated to the 10 guys that Caleb and I recruited to go do
Not
this.
so kind of not unlike how like the orcas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm glad I wasn't on this trip.
Well, you'd schwitz, Ryan. You'd schwitz so hard.
Yeah, they had a cold pool where you get in after the hot, and then you go into a steam room, and I was like, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
gotta
same way
end
as
with the
people who
cold,
say they
man.
like exercising. I'm like, I don't get it.
I like how I feel after it. I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah, I
better.
don't.
Okay.
Like, I think
He doesn't-
physically,
Ryan doesn't
like it.
Ryan doesn't like feeling
It's just
good.
awful.
Yeah.
I just feel bad after exercising.
Andy's now. She takes a cold shower every day now, and I've started
Since
trying.
that? Like,
Yep.
Wow.
So now I've started trying to take cold showers. I don't like them, but I
Right.
do them, and I feel
Feels good.
yeah, man.
All right.
Well, whatever you like.
That's right. Whatever I like,
That's right.
whatever you like, whatever we're like.
Well, that was APDC
lots happened.
vacation talk.
Yeah, we haven't been
good
together in like about 6 weeks or something.
Speaking of vacations or other places that aren't here, there's something going on in Seattle very soon.
Yeah,
Maybe this is a good place to drop this.
we do have some information on. Well, you just listen.
July 2023, the Pacific Northwest will be transformed. Don't miss CybFest Northwest. Featuring special guest Paul Eiding, the voice of Perceptor. Panels hosted by Mike Cybert Radio Podcast. Robotics. Contests and trivia. Local artists and dealers. Exciting raffle prizes. A Transformers experience by the fans, for the fans. Get your own exclusive Generation Zero transforming action figure. This Cybertronian festival features the Bumblebee Camaro inspired by the films. July 8th at Kent Commons Community Center. Immerse yourself in CybFest Northwest. More at CybFestNW.com. 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 CybFestNW.com.
Hello there. I'm Paul Eiding. Now, some of you might know me from video games that I have voiced. Metal Gear Solid, Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft, God of War, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, a whole bunch of video games. Or some of you might know me from Grandpa Max in Ben 10, or No Zone and Toxic Crusaders, or a bunch of other ones. Most importantly, I hope you know me from G1 Transformers. I'm the voice of Perceptor. Now, folks at CybFest Northwest, they know that, because I'm going to be joining everybody up there. Kent, Washington, July 8th. I'm looking forward to it. Listen, if you're in the area, I hope you can join us. I promise we'll have a good time. We'll be talking all things Transformers, or all things whatever you want to talk about. So join us, all right? July 8th, CybFest Northwest. See you there.
All right, let's shout out patrons. We've got Alpha Magnus, Debbie, Jeremy, Skeeter, Mr. Sadler, who coined the word schwitz for us.
did. He
I mean,
did.
I don't think he coined it.
I-
but
I think
he
the
coined
word
the,
existed.
He coined the event on our behalf.
I now know this guy pretty well. It's great.
That's true.
I made a really good friendship with one of our patrons.
Mike Seibert, Bono, Michael Trimblett, Justin, Jonathan, Robinus, Classic Daniel, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, J Soups, Maddie V, Nick the Toy Mad Dad, Ken Bockelman,
Big kid.
DFB Greg Murray, Captain Alexis Corey, James and Julia, Michael Ordway, Tim W, Jason from Charactastic Plastic, Thomas, Justin, Triclops, Alex Simons, New Daniel, Seven the Chronicler, Argonus Prime, Brian Jones, and Rick, a.k.a. Autobot 1000. Thank you for your support. If anybody out there is interested and is not currently a patron, hey, we're taking applications.
We are.
All you got to do is go to patreon.com/APODcast, and the application process is you put in your credit card and hit submit, and then you're accepted. It's
And you'll
pretty
probably
easy.
get a booty box.
We have
$5 and up.
booty boxes are out in the wild. Everybody has them, except for maybe one person.
We are so.
And one person who's getting a component that we missed out.
He'll have it.
That's true, yeah.
He'll have it by now. But one of our patrons, somehow we overlooked it. Thankfully, he reached out to us. we always encourage our patrons to reach out if they don't receive something or something's amiss, and we'll gladly.
I think just human
fulfill
nature is
our
that people would
obligation.
reach out, which he did.
Yeah.
And that's good.
I'm getting all that in the mail tomorrow, and maybe by the time this comes out, they should have received that. So, good
Well-
stuff. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your patronage.
Ryan,
Yeah.
I didn't write anything witty. Are we drinking?
Yeah, I was gonna have I was gonna float an idea out there that we table the music portion
It's fine.
of ambience in the bar for maybe people can chime in, but I'm fucking sick of it.
Have you gotten letters, Ryan?
No, I edited.
Well,
it,
nobody's
and I
chimed
just-
in. That
it's-
must mean that everything's just great. That people love it.
well.
okay.
No feedback means
I won't. I have nothing.
absolute love.
I won't do it for this one. I do have some background that's not a bar for the
Okay,
next one.
cool.
It's not a bar.
Wow.
It's something else.
I'm just gonna beatbox it.
Beatbox.
In a bar.
Well, okay.
It's kind of hard.
Hunker down, everybody.
Yeah, end this awkwardness.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right, this is I messed up, which is the first time I've ever done that. One of our patrons asked us for a buy us a drink cocktail way back in September of 22, and I plumb forgot to put it on the schedule. So Alex, a.k.a. Optimal Crimzeek on our Discord, had this to say when requesting this drink. I'd like to share with you a drink made out of pure desperation. Many years ago, I was at a gathering where the only options were lower-tier vodka and Sauvignon Blanc. I can drink vodka straight, but I prefer something to mix it with because I don't know if I could have handled more than 3 shots of vodka. Also, I don't drink wine. My friend suggested we mix the two. 1 shot of vodka was poured into a glass of wine. We coined it Slug Wine. It's been nearly 2 decades since I've had it, but I do remember it tasting not unlike Kool-Aid. This is Slug Wine.
So this is what they bought for us?
Sauv Blanc.
Okay.
So yeah, before I get to the drink, my question is, Alex, what the fuck kind of horrible party are you attending which exclusively has white girl wasted booze options?
Hey, well,
Yeah,
we're
no
not gonna-
mixers?
I'm not going to shame
Was
them.
this in high school?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Like what? I mean, it was. He did say it was 20 years ago, but like what-
Honestly, might have been at a party where it was all wasted white girls, and you know what?
it's
cheers
just
to that.
weird. It's just weird for those to be the two polar like Sauvignon Blanc and vodka is what you've got.
I'm so
Like,
surprised
no
there's
beer
vodka and no
or-
mixer at all. No club
Yeah,
soda.
that is odd.
That is
no,
very strange.
No cranberry juice.
You remember when I used to bring booze? I used to always bring booze with me in a briefcase to
Yes.
parties because I was super cool.
Used to.
I don't bring it in a briefcase anymore.
He doesn't go to parties anymore.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm a shut-in. So back to this drink. I chose the 2021 Long Bay Sauvignon Blanc, which you'll enjoy tropical fruit flavors rounded out by grassy notes. This versatile white can be enjoyed with anything from goat cheese to seafood and fried chicken. I don't like the way that's worded because it sounds like you have to have seafood with fried chicken. It's almost like nobody has any pride in grammar anymore.
That's good.
But who gives a shit about that? Just throw a fucking shot of vodka into some garbage wine and drink it up, you gnarly cunts. It's probably better with ice. Help yourself. Let's try it out.
Okay. Slug Wine.
Slug Wine.
Maybe this will be like the drink of the summer.
It's not undrinkable. I'm just really tasting the wine.
I feel the same way about this as I felt about the Greenland fermented shark. It's technically consumable. I feel like the vodka is really punching up the
there it is.
mineraliness of the
Yep.
Sauvignon
That's
Blanc in a way that is unpleasant.
Like, if I didn't know you put it in here, I'd be like, that is very, like, yeah, very minerally, but with no good finish.
Yeah, it tastes like metal almost.
Yep. Not good.
No. No, but thanks for getting us a
Not good.
drink. I was being pretty snarky, but I am sorry I missed it, and thanks for... He did, again, say it was more than 2 decades ago.
Hey, there's a good story with
Alex, yeah, that's true.
And so, because, it doesn't have to be necessarily a good drink. We would like for it to be, but you got a good story behind it. Yeah, we'll drink
That's
it.
true. Did you guys ever have a terrible drink you were forced to make at a gathering simply because you wanted to put booze in your body?
We once had a drink at that resort where the guy decided to add all of the drinks together.
We had it on this episode.
This is actually in the same family as that.
Yeah.
Like if we would have walked up to the guy and said, I need a shot of vodka and a glass of wine, and he would have just like put them together.
One other question about this.
Actually very appropriate.
I could understand not wanting to drink straight vodka and wanting to mix something with it, but why wouldn't you just drink the wine?
He said he doesn't drink wine.
But you did.
But you did, yeah. It's all very confusing. I just don't know why you wouldn't go with one or the other either. And I don't know why he chose to say I couldn't drink 3 shots of vodka straight, but, like, you don't have to. Like, it's all very I
Or
need more
just
context.
go to the gas station and buy some goddamn orange juice. It's just down the street.
I feel like we need some fill-in for this, Alex.
Now, I want to be clear to our listeners. This isn't going to be like make the hosts drink crazy stuff, but
It's not George's Marvelous Medicine.
No.
What I will say, if you come up to us and give us one of those goddamn APDC
Buy
owes
some
us a
drink
drink tokens, this is what we're making you drink.
What?
This is what we're getting you.
Oh, this
You don't get a choice in the cocktail.
Slug Wine's coming.
Slug Wine in your face.
Slug Wine.
The official drink now of the APDC.
So thank you, Alex, for buying us a drink. Slug Wine. I love it. I love the name. I love the story. I hate the drink. Buy us a drink. Also, Josh, I haven't forgotten about the one you have tasked me with. It's coming up probably on episode 208. I slotted this one in because Alex hit me up on our Discord saying, hey, by the way, did you still have that on the list? And I did not.
Again, we appreciate
We're
listeners.
just forgetting everything.
Yeah,
We're forgetting
yeah.
booty boxes,
We're getting
forgetting
too-
stuff in booty boxes.
That's what happens when you get so big.
Yeah, that's exactly
we
right.
need some interns.
Right, unpaid.
Last episode recap, also brought to you by ChatGPT.
Oh God. Okay.
I don't remember what my input was. It was probably like summarize this episode title of the Transformers, use onomatopoeia and assonance as much as possible. And here's what I got. In the Transformers episode Call of the Primitives, primal power permeates as ancient animosity arises. Primeval prophets, Predaking and Grimlock clash, creating cataclysmic chaos. Earthquakes echo, Energon erupts, and metallic might meets mythical madness. Amidst the mayhem, alliances form, testifying to the turbulent tapestry of triumph and treachery.
Almost none of that occurred.
Maybe Predaking and Grimlock fought, but I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't use
Not
it as
in this one.
something to call as something to in Call of the Primitives. I mean, technically they fought.
Wait, are you talking about Call? Oh, is that
Yeah.
the previous episode?
Yeah, this
I'm
is the
sorry.
last
I'm
episode
sorry.
recap.
You're
Brought to you by
right, I'm stupid.
ChatGPT.
You're right. That's right. I don't know. For some reason, I was looking at the screen on this episode, and I'm like, I don't remember any of that.
No, that was Grimlock's final episode.
Yeah.
He was not in this episode. I agree with you there. But speaking of this episode, let's reveal the face of the Nijika. Sadly animated by ACOM.
Yep.
Sam Young Studios as well played a part in that. Written by Mary Screens and Steve Skeets. The most interesting combination of names for writers that I think we've seen to date. They both have SK last names.
And they work together quite a bit, not on Transformers, but on other things.
I can't wait to get to that.
Yeah. It's her name is Mary. It's pronounced Screenes.
And is his name Skeets?
Skeet. Steve Skeet.
Yeah, he does.
Woo, doggy. Yeah.
All
We're
right.
almost done with season 3.
I know.
G1's almost
we were
over.
talking about it earlier. I'm sad about it.
Yeah, season 3 is going to be it's going to be at the end of this APDC Hotbot summer. Season 3 will be done in September.
Listen on your final float trip of the year. Don't bang out the summer's latest jams. Listen to APDC on your float trip.
For sure, people that you're with in a canoe that you're complaining about how they steer to listen.
I greatly regret that, and I'm very sorry.
He probably had it coming.
No, he didn't deserve any of that.
We've
I was
told-
treating him like I would treat my kid, which is actually also not good in the canoe. Yeah.
All right. Picture this, you cucks.
Oh,
Cruising through space inside of Skylinks, we've got Rodimus Prime, Magnus, Blurr, and Perceptor. Skylinks has picked up a peculiar phenomenon that has Blurr very excited. Let's see a visual.
I will say that Blurr was. I was annoyed because Blurr is not only talking really annoyingly, but also complaining up top. But
saying too many words.
Yes, but by the end of the episode, I actually kind of did dislike him being here.
You did not dislike him.
Correct. I enjoyed him to some extent at the end.
Hard disagree.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not going to make it. There's not a thing to make out of it or anything.
I'm gonna box.
Fucking hate
no,
the guy.
no quarter.
Yeah,
for him.
Blurr's not. I don't remember hating him as a kid, but then I think that's because kids would think this is funny.
Yeah. They're enraptured by the skill of John Moshita. Prime says, let's see a visual, and then he says to Perceptor, is that a Quintessons ship? And it's like, Jesus, Rodimus, you've been dealing with these things since 2006.
You drove one.
Come on, yeah, come on, man. But what we see on screen is a giant metal Space Cervix, a.k.a. the Quadrant Lock.
It does look like a cervix. I put it looks like a Stargate, but I like that better. I don't know if you guys watch Stargate.
I know what you're talking about.
It's been a long time.
It looks like a Stargate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Galvatron comes up and punches it.
Yep.
Out of nowhere.
He tries to knock the bottom out of it.
No.
Yeah, like Ryan said, the cervix is being pummeled by Galvatron, who is also being tracked by the Quintessons.
Mm-hmm.
So the Autobots are like, I guess we'll go check this out. It's clear that the Quintessons aren't happy with the Decepticon presence at this structure as they are firing upon Galvatron. But the Autobots show up and they add even more gunfire to the mess. And that puts the Quintessons in a panic.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want these bots to examine the lock. Except, what about from the inside? Activate isolator key. And at this, Perceptor nerds out because to him he says, this must be some kind of space warp. The Quintessons ship enters the warp, which drags the Autobots and Cyclones, who Galvatron threw in there, and into it. The Quintessons' plan was for the dragging of the Transformers to cause them to die in the warp, and they didn't.
You really just strung a lot, put all this together.
We'll pause here in a second. Not only did the Autobots not die, the isolator key has short-circuited, and without a replacement part, the Quintessons are going to be trapped there forever, except because Perceptor is here, floating through space. They might be saved. He has a, quote, universal emulator, which could serve in place of the isolator key. And I will pause here to say, guys, what the fuck is going on?
Did you guys follow all that?
This is the most confusing beginning
pretty
to any
intense.
Transformers episode I've ever seen.
I would submit this entire episode is way too heavy with just shit going on.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm more lost on the Ocean Gate Titanic expedition.
I wondered if we were going to bring that up. Speaking of nautical follies.
It's not too soon.
Do you think it was the orcas?
I don't think they can dive that deep, but yeah.
Yeah, why
Let's
not?
Give it to them. Let's give it to the orcas. Put it on the chalkboard.
Yeah, this is really, you explained it perfectly. There's not much more to say about it. I don't know why the Quintessons went through. I don't know why their propulsion system is a tractor beam that dragged the Autobots through.
We're never really clear, getting ahead of ourselves, why the Quintessons locked this planet
That's
up in the first place.
Well, we do
they're
know
afraid
why.
they'll evolve too much.
I have
and
this.
What?
I have this point later.
All
They're
right.
afraid of their evolution, but also I'm like, why did you go through this complicated? This is pretty,
Just kill them all.
That's exactly what I thought. This is pretty dark, but I'm like, why didn't you just explode the planet? Why didn't you just commit a genocide? Why did you go through all this trouble of locking them away?
We'll just suppress their evolution by blocking out all the stars.
Yeah, that's right.
Super easy path.
So yeah, Perceptor has a universal emulator, so I guess he's like a Steam Deck.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
I know what the kids are into.
Playing them video games.
I will say this Slug Wine, the more you drink it, the less offensive it becomes.
I would agree.
As most alcoholic
Yes.
beverages
Yeah.
tend to be.
So
That's good slug wine.
So sluggy.
For the picture, I should mock up some kind of candy slug crawling around the top of it or something.
Yeah.
I definitely won't do that. But
No, it should be just.
Oh.
It should be a drunk slug. Just
I do have. Oh, maybe I'll just draw one and put it in, Photoshop it in. But we do have a bunch of licorice candy still from Iceland that I could probably melt into a slug shape.
Do you have a slug mold?
Who doesn't? I just had mine refinished.
Good. I don't want any texture on it. I want it perfectly smooth.
Oh, God.
All right. The Transformers are falling through space, and Perceptor is separated from the rest of the Autobots, and his anxiety generators are in overdrive as he realizes that he cannot transform. Meanwhile,
Perceptor is a really unfortunate character to have stuck in alt mode because he looks so ridiculous.
but why him and nobody else?
I didn't.
Maybe
even
it's
think
the
of that.
emulator that's inside of
I
him.
don't know. Like all this very specific things have to happen for the story to work right.
This is the most coincidental episode
Yes.
of all
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Perceptor, everybody's fallen to this planet. We don't know much about the planet yet. Perceptor's separated from the group. The Autobots hit the surface of the planet, which is called Zemogin. If I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that well. And it has sort of a weird Mongol Empire feudal
It's kinda
China mixed
Pan-Asian.
with Japanese, like a twist.
Yeah.
These there's some barbarian types on the surface of the planet that chase after the main Autobot group to kill them. They call them devils. And there's a ponytailed, bejeweled forehead guy. I guess they're all bejeweled forehead guys. But a guy with a ponytail and a gem in his head hops on a furry dragon thing a la Golden Axe, Sega, and locates Perceptor, and he mutters the word Nijika as he finds him.
I was going to say their mounts kind of look like quadrupedal tauntauns.
I can accept that.
But yeah, I was also going to, like, when I started watching this, I'm like, oh, well, they don't, the Asian accents, they don't do a lot of, they're not too bad, but they're still there. Not as bad as the next episode.
It's not quite, what's his name, Mickey Rooney.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. It's not terribly offensive. It's just, a hint. But yeah, it's very Pan-Asian, a bunch of cultures jammed together, which is weird, but I don't know why you wouldn't just make them complete aliens, but
I don't know.
Because I kept expecting it to come back to, like, they were kidnapped from Earth or something.
Like, there's got to be a reason for this somewhere.
But there's not.
No, they just
are sort of on a similar cultural path.
Yeah.
Like maybe Genghis Khan showed up and fucked everyone on this planet, and
maybe so.
then he left.
He was such a conqueror.
Of that ass.
Please, Genghis Khan.
Oh, thank you for correcting me. I was going by the Bill and Ted pronunciation.
Socrates Johnson.
We got Rodimus, Magnus, and Blurr. They recover from their fall. Blurr, however, Rodimus and Magnus recover from their fall, but Blurr has hit a boulder, and he's taken a bit of damage.
Mm-hmm. His, the fender on his leg is bent, and he can't walk.
We go back to Ponytail, who we learned is named Katsudan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that name is kind of racist.
Why?
That's the name of a dish, a Japanese dish.
Is it?
I mean, maybe it's not racist. It's lazy, maybe. I don't know.
I
pork
didn't know that.
katsu is pork cutlet. They bread it, little tasty sauce action.
Well,
But it's called katsudan.
I'm trying to think of an American
So they're referring
name
to
that's
it.
also a food. Meatloaf.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that is self-given.
Oh, he did. Honey. Honey's a name?
Katsudan
I don't know.
takes Perceptor, and
This is weird.
who I might remind you is trapped in microscope mode. He grabs some knives,
Hot knives.
And he cuts around the contours of Perceptor's Autobot insignia and removes it. But you know what's behind that insignia?
The
Universal Emulator.
This is confusing because we hear Perceptor's, like, I think he's supposed to be transmitting to Ultra Magnus and Rodimus, but I'm like, why don't you just talk to the guy?
Yeah, is he sort of trying to talk to the guy at some point?
doesn't
and the guy's ignoring him? Maybe not.
It doesn't
You're right.
seem like
You're right.
it.
He's
It's
trying
just
to talk-
weird.
Yeah.
Is
There's a lot of that in
is
this episode.
Perceptor's like soul also in this thing?
I guess.
Also weird. Doesn't really, because we'll see. Not to get too far afield, but we'll see whenever they they put the emulator in the Nijika, it's not clear whether Perceptor remembers he's himself.
Maybe it is the Nijika, but with Perceptor's voice for some reason.
Regardless, like, of all this crazy batshit stuff, I really enjoy. I'm intrigued by Perceptor's persona getting placed inside this very effeminated, like, robot geisha, for lack of a better word.
That's exactly what it is.
And find it fascinating.
It does feel like Paul Eiding. Now I don't remember how to pronounce it from the promo we just listened to.
Like eating chicken.
He does seem to be doing a slightly affected voice whenever Perceptor's in Nijika.
Like a feminized voice.
Yeah, a little bit. But also, whether he knows he's Perceptor or not, if he does know, he's certainly not concerned with getting back in his own body or questioning anything of, like,
Nope.
what are you doing?
It seems like that the Nijika character does have also some memory or some knowledge suddenly of that culture and their etiquette. So it's like, is it both and, or
Wait, where are you getting that?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily pick up on that either. At
Because
least
he
not
asks,
once Perceptor's
He
voice.
asks the guy all about what happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then
Like, it's a lore moment.
I am wrong.
You might be
You
thinking
might
of the
be right.
Flash
I don't
guy.
know.
There's mannerisms there. The mannerisms is another thing. But you're right. Also, just like he gets put in there and he's like, yep,
I'm just in here.
here I am.
That was a go to commercial moment.
Mm-hmm.
We returned from commercial.
Cool.
We are in space with the Quintessons, who are tracking Perceptor and have ID'd his general location from his communication transmissions. The Quints provide coordinates to the Sharkticons, who take a space sled to the planet. Meanwhile, our man Katsu jams Perceptor's symbol and the universal emulator, of course, into the skull of his
Into her
own
fucking face.
robotic possession, which is Nijika, a.k.a.
Sky Dancer. I like the Sky Dancer. I like that. I also
It
like
doesn't look like it would just fit.
No, absolutely not. I do love this part where it connects in a second, though. I thought that was kind of cool. And I also like that she's like 3 feet tall. Actually, I guess she's even bigger than a human because the natives on this planet are the same size as the Transformers. So.
Are they? I think they're a little smaller.
No, because he fights the Sharkticons right here.
He kicks.
Well, they're a little small for Transformers.
He kicks their
I
ass.
believe. But
They're still larger than
they're still
humans.
big ass people.
Yeah. We should also mention, I don't think we talked about, like, this planet has a specifically extremely dense molecular structure. Like, whenever they hit the trees, the Autobots say that it was like hitting metal, which is why I think this guy can beat up Transformers. Because he's organic.
That makes some sense here, because there was some discourse on the TF Wiki about, like, how the fuck, and that does make sense. Katsudan, he leaves his little tent with Nijika because he sensed some bad shit going on outside, danger, if you will, and he grabs a sword and runs off. And like Ryan said, the symbol kind of fuses to the feminine form, and then I can't tell exactly what happens if the Nijika removes the symbol,
No, they
or
just
it somehow
it just becomes it.
Yeah.
It just
When it comes
morphs.
back to the symbol, it just like later on when it transforms back into the Autobot symbol, they just add a sound effect like "Bring!" and it just But she's a automaton in a way.
I don't remember. I don't recall, like, if we'll get to the lore here in a second, I guess, but I don't recall if she has intelligence.
She does.
Okay,
She
she is
talks.
aware.
Yeah, she talks.
Okay.
Did you guys watch this episode?
Yes, I didn't.
I don't remember if she had a conversation.
She
Yeah,
talks
they
whenever they're
flashback.
about to go because she's the pilot, and she talks whenever they're about to go. I'm questioning myself as to whether I made that up.
No,
but
no,
I'm
you're
pretty
right.
Sure I'm
But just
right.
because she
You're right.
talks doesn't mean that she
Sentient?
is sentient. Yeah,
Oh, so she's ChatGPT.
maybe. Here's the
Doesn't
deal: they
matter.
make a whole big deal out of designing a rocket that can leave the atmosphere, but they created a sentient robot
To be the pilot.
to be the pilot, which I would argue was a greater scientific
It
accomplishment.
does seem a little cart before the horse.
But
Also, why not just make the rocket intelligent?
sure.
Why does it need a pilot?
just put that in there? Yeah. I mean, she's basically like a dog or a monkey.
Like Laika?
What?
Like the Russians put a dog up there, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
we-
yes, yes.
We put monkeys up there.
Well, apes.
chimps.
Yeah.
Was it a chimp or a...
Yep.
That'd be fun.
I can't
Put-
remember
Put
his
a fucking
name.
gorilla up there.
I can't remember his name, the one that the piloted, but yeah.
Fucking a baboon is just pressing its big ass against.
It's
the
also a myth.
window as it's
Everybody
flying
seems
off.
to think that those animals died up there, but they all came back.
I didn't know one way or the other.
Yeah, they all
cool.
came back.
That's cool.
Good USA.
No, and
No,
the Soviets.
USSR. Sharkticons are
Mhm.
here. They wanted to grab Perceptor, but Katsudan's here, and he's a good fighter, and he beats the shit out of these guys.
He really does wreck their day.
They don't have a chance.
I do kind of like also, this is like kind of emulates Hot Rod
does.
punching
Yeah.
the Sharkticon in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucks him up and just sends him packing.
they give up really quickly. There's just a passed out body on the
On the
space
ski.
skiff or whatever it is.
The Sky Do.
Nice.
And then, guess who emerges from the tent?
It's the Nijika.
Mm-hmm.
And Katsudan acts very surprised. But isn't this what he wanted?
But yeah,
Yeah, but still,
I don't-
he's in awe, though. He's still
that's
in awe.
true. Are you? He says, "Are you surprised that I'm speaking?" And he's like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
I'm real fucking shocked.
Yeah.
But like, what did you think?
I
was
mean, I
gonna
just
happen?
jammed a random thing in your
It's
skull.
true. Why did you think that would work? It's all very, like I said, this episode just is just questions all the way down.
Rodimus, we transition to the jungle. Rodimus is hauling Blurr through the jungle. I gotta say, I just leave his annoying ass behind, and
Well,
that's
they do.
precisely what Blurr recommends they do, and nobody questions it.
Well,
but
Rodimus questions it.
yeah, he does. He
Or
does.
does
In my secret lore,
Sure.
nobody questions it. So that they can more quickly find Perceptors. So they drop him on the ground, and not 1 second later, Sharkticons, not Sharkticons, I'm sorry, the Barbarians show up and grab him. And the TF Wiki thought, hey, maybe Magnus could have just gone carrier mode.
You know what? I didn't even think of that, but you're completely right. I bet he even would have fit into Rodimus's trailer.
Maybe so. But they're in a jungle. Maybe the terrain's not right for that.
Yeah. Oh.
Counterpoint, TF
Yeah,
Wiki.
That's okay. All right. Yeah, they can't.
I think Rodimus's leader was kind of obligated to say, oh, maybe, we can't leave you behind. But then, like, kind of, then
He's making the jerk
But
off
he
motion behind him.
He side eyes Magnus,
Yeah,
makes eye
yeah.
contact while he's saying
and
it.
then like, no, you can leave me behind. And instead of them saying, no, seriously, you should come with us. They're just waiting for him to say, you can leave me behind. And like, okay, bye. Like when someone's offering to like pay for the meal, and you're like, no, I'll pay for it. And they're like, no, I'll pay for it. And you're like, okay.
Caleb just keeps eating his gift
I
salt.
know he keeps eating the salt. I've noticed that too. He's like a fucking horse.
It's good.
Nom nom yummy salt.
It goes good with this slug wine.
Try that, Alex.
And the licorice chocolate.
Put some licorice and
Yeah, we got some weird
Weird
shit
foods.
going on
It's
today
true.
in the oral sensory department. Oh. So yeah, the Barbarians have Blurr, and even though Rodimus and Ultra Magnus, they've literally been gone 1 second, but they're gone. So we go back to Katsudan.
we get some backstory.
Yeah, we got Perceptor, Nijika. They have questions, so it's lore time. Nijika hasn't spoken since the Night of the Devils, an occurrence that has traumatized the planet and many, many years ago and still to this day. You see, back in the day, the planet was baller as hell. They still had light in their face gems. Their god protector statue guy, Corduri, was still kicking it on their behalf. Katsu's ancestor, Nikodon, created a pimped-out rocket ship, and there was a bangin' celebration to commemorate the celestial launch. The pilot of the vessel was meant to be the one and only Nijika, the sky dancer.
I will say, we're just about to cut to it right here. The statue of Koduri looks almost exactly like yogurt from Spaceballs.
I wonder if they have branded statues, Corduri statues.
Merchandising.
You can make some money off this guy. As Nijika boarded the ship
Mm-hmm.
and the people prayed for success, that is when the devils, who we know as the Quintessons, showed up and attacked. And it does look like they fucking killed people. Like
Yes.
there's lasers
Yeah,
in
they're on the
people's
ground.
eyes.
That was a
seemed
distressing
very
scene.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They destroyed the rocket itself, and then they entered the god statue and just kind of pulled some cables.
Pulled some wires, yeah.
And then they took off, but not before blowing out the light of the stars and sealing them with the giant bottle cap that is the quadrant lock. And did they ever explain the science behind how the quadrant lock
Blocks out the stars.
blocks out the stars?
No.
It
Does
just
she
do.
speak here? I'm pretty sure she speaks.
Well, let's find out. I think she speaks. I just don't know if it necessarily means she has intelligence.
I guess to my way of thinking, it's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Maybe.
Who?
I mean, they don't
what's the
explain that she
difference?
doesn't have intelligence, so why would we think that she doesn't?
Sure.
I wished to ride the tower myself, but the Ibaris would not allow it.
So, Nikodon has also created our first Voyager, Nijika, the Sky Dancer.
For Samojan, I shall dance among the stars.
It's true. She could have had a pull cord
Yeah.
to say that.
We didn't even see her mouth move. It could have been him throwing his voice like a ventriloquist. Yes.
Oh my god, the creator's so smart.
I'm sentient.
Nico Don and his secret ventriloquism skills.
It does. I mean, I guess it is because of the episode, but it does make no sense to have this piloted by a weird robot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of for it though. I'm kind of here for it. I think it's weird.
I mean, her
and I'm
job
cool
is
with
to
it.
Do you
live
wish
or
our,
die.
our killer drones for the military are piloted by little robots?
Only if they're dressed as.
What would they be dressed as? Like
Geisha.
Geisha.
Oh, well, I was thinking it was American, so they'd be
Little
dressed
cowboys.
like Daisy Dukes.
The little cowboys. Yeah.
Cowgirls.
Yes. Cowgirls.
It
Duh.
doesn't. It really doesn't matter
really
at this
doesn't.
point if she's intelligent or not. But that could be an explanation as why Katsudon is surprised. Like, oh, you could form real sentences.
Oh, this worked.
yeah.
Let's see if you got that real pussy.
Oh no.
Katsudon got a big dick.
Dense.
It would be very dense, molecularly dense.
Yeah. All that shit happened that I talked about.
Yep.
And I'm going to fast forward. The whole yoinking of the wires. Like, I get that it's sort of.
Yeah. That's it. That's
well,
what
it's the
threw 'em
star.
off.
It's the star thing that halted their evolution, but they can't just go in there and fix it.
I think that the reason so what we see here is the Quintessons fly into the belly of this statue guardian guy, and they yank a
Yoink.
bunch of cords.
Yoink.
And then the door closes. And I think the reason they can't go in there and fix it is because they can't control the statue because their telepathy is blocked out because it's powered by the stars, which we'll find out at the end of this episode.
I see what you're saying now. Okay, no stars, no telepathy, no access to the god.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now they're transmitting something. What the fuck was that all
It's the
about?
block
I
out
think
the
it's
stars.
just the wind that blocks out the stars.
But it came from the Quintesson ship.
No, that was from
That
the
was
cervix,
from the lock.
Space
the
Cervix.
quadrant lock.
It looked like it was, unless it was just perfectly centered over the lock.
It wasn't, no.
Oh, you're just right. I thought the foreshortening. That looks like it could
Oh, I
be.
see what you're
If you're
saying.
looking dead on to a Quintesson ship, it looks like that could be it. But you're right. Well, that's the
It's
story.
all it's confusing to me.
Perceptor / Nijika deduces the purpose of the quadrant lock is to halt the evolution of the Zemojans. He explains that the Quints are all behind this, and for some reason, they are intimidated by the prospect of the Zemojans reaching the stars. She is so tiny. Why do they make her so little?
It's cute. I like it. Have they ever made any third-party toys of her?
Not to my knowledge.
I think it'd be interesting to have like a third-party perceptor where it comes with that, and you can take
That's
off
actually a
his.
smart
You could take off
idea.
his
Autobot symbol.
symbol and put it on
She's
her
so
face.
little. It looks like
What?
I don't know. Like I feel like her. This is a stupid line of thought, because scale is meaningless, really, in the Transformers. They're big, they're small, they're whatever you need them to be at any time. But his symbol seems like it'd be way too big for that tiny robot.
I mean, I can see you could get around that pretty easy. Just make the
Well, from a toy making perspective,
just make it work. But that would be cool, and you could make that she would be an accessory because she would be smaller. It would be kind of cool, like just like it comes with that. Boop, boop.
So the two biggest third-party companies have both made a Perceptor, and they're both great. But there's no Nijika, so there probably never will be.
No,
unless Hasbro or Takara do a masterpiece Perceptor, and maybe they think.
Yeah,
of it.
I think it'd be cool, a cool one to do.
Write some letters.
Yeah, my idea though. I get the credit.
Write some letters, but make sure you mention APDC in your communication with Takara. Oh, up in space. The Quintessons are kind of mad that their Sharkticons were fucked up so good by that Katsudan. Cyclones happens to sneak on the ship, and he wants to strike a bargain. He wants the Quintessons to share the secret of the quadrant lock, which I feel like he's living the secret of the quadrant lock if he would just look around. But and then he'll help Cyclones deal with the Autobots, I guess.
I like how he just sneaks on their ship and walks out from the shadows.
Hello.
I feel like
he's that cool.
And we've mentioned this on many times where it's like, this could have been a two-parter, which I don't think this should have been a two-parter.
No.
But I think a lot of the times when we say that and we say, like, this episode is very information dense, I think the writers just put a lot into it, and shit just gets cut and cut and cut for time.
It's compressed,
and then you just lose a bunch, and it's like, wait, what?
They're probably, they know what's coming. They get their paycheck, and then they just move on.
But this one feels like it was. Well, it's weird. It's this weird combination of no information and a lot of information that's just confusing.
Yes, yes.
They make a deal, the Quintessons and Cyclones. We get back to Rodimus and Magnus, who are in vehicle mode. They're tracking the origin of Perceptor's communications. They're driving up an icy mountainside path, and they run into some hairy barbarian Zemojins who attack them with giant hammers and clubs from the backs of their dragony beasts, eventually knocking Rodimus off a cliff. And that is where we go to commercial.
One more time, if you're going to be in the Pacific Northwest, July 8th, check out CybFest Northwest. That's at the Kent Commons Community Center. July 8th, all of the good stuff are at CybFestNW.com. Check it out. Now, back to the show.
Bonk.
That's what did it.
You know, so we have a new clock up there. I got that out of a dumpster at work.
Cool, man.
I don't know how in the fuck we would ever notice that.
Things are hard to notice in this place.
That innocuous-ass clock.
I just heard it ticking.
That reminds me of that time you were like, don't you see the thing? And I was like,
I didn't see the thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, the thing was a huge statue in the entryway of the house, but...
Nothing is a surprise
hidden
here at Jet Manor.
At Ryan's house,
Chateau Le Jet.
Everything's hidden in plain sight around here.
That's the secret.
Actually, plain sight is hidden by everything.
Oh, that reminds me when we were on the plane. We were like, they have, you can watch the movies and stuff like that, and you can also play games. And West found this really fun game. I don't know if you played that game where you can like find like, oh, here's a list of things you need to find in this picture. Like, have you guys ever played that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You could do an awesome... That should be a booty box item. It doesn't have to be a drawing. It can just be a photograph of this basement and do a find.
That's not a terrible idea.
Thing.
No, it's not.
I'm going to write this down and maybe remember it. I had a
We've recorded.
It's on it's in here. I'll write it down when I make notes.
Okay. All right, we're back from commercial. Rodimus Prime tumbling down a cliff, but we forgot he transforms.
He forgot too, apparently.
Yeah.
He goes into robot mode. He catches himself on the rocks, The rest of the Zemojans prepare to attack Magnus, but the reemergence of Rodimus and the use of all of their lasery powers incited a Zemojan retreat, but they'll be back. They pledge that the Autobots will be dead by dawn. That's what they say.
Do they? Yeah, cool.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Sam Raimi fans, I
like
see.
that movies.
Magnus and Rodimus find Katsu's little blacksmith shed, and they find the husk of Perceptor, but there's no
Magnus carries it around.
yeah,
That's why I
on
said
his trailer mode.
Yeah, that's why I said it was so funny when he's in Bird, because he picks him up out of the blacksmith thing and just is like has him in his arms. It's
just cuddling him like an infant, but he's a microscope or a telescope, whatever you want.
I was wondering if you'd bring that up,
and I did. Now that I have, what do you have to say about it?
Nope.
Not going there. They got Perceptor's body, but no universal emulator. So what's next? I guess we're going to the city.
Yeah, and it's,
This is a problematic segment.
Oh my God!
In so many ways.
Yeah.
We're gonna head to the city, where we start off with Cyclones.
Also,
and
notice the Klansman in the right corner.
holy
there.
shit! Why is that there?
It's just a costume, but it's
But
a guy.
plus, we've also we've started to veer outside of the Japanese influence.
that's
this
an
guy looks
elf.
like a not Middle Eastern, medieval British.
Peasant.
Yeah.
More
But
important.
the important thing is you've got Cyclones and Quintessons just freely walking around.
Yep.
They should have at least put mustaches on.
They should have put those hoods on that the guy had.
Yeah, they're not in disguise or anything. They're just there.
Yeah.
And as we'll see in just a second, we know what the Quintessons look like because the guy burns an effigy of a Quintesson in this pool that Blurr is hovering over. Sorry, we'll get to it.
Yes, it's.
But I don't think the comment is relevant because these people are clearly afraid of anything that's not them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two very giant things that are not them just wandering around this heavily populated area.
They've gotten Blurr, but Cyclonus, nah, that's fine.
Oh, and it gets even worse here in a second. But yeah, Blurr is dangled over a hot, bubbly, I guess maybe we're supposed to think it's lava,
I guess.
pit. The crowd is, they're getting pretty rowdy. And they're yelling, "Drop him in!" and including Cyclones. Cyclones is a part of the mob.
I love it.
That's yelling, "Drop them in!"
Yeah, drop them in.
And the Quintesson is like, "Don't draw attention to us."
I know. Your very presence should be leading to your death right now. Yeah, there's the effigy you're talking about, Ryan. So they know exact. That is a very
very detailed
crafted effigy.
Like that is a sweet ass paper mache balloon
Quintesson. Paper mache Quintessons is a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Put
too.
that
I
in
was
the
just
booty
thinking,
box.
I'm like, yeah, the Quintessons are tailor made for a paper mache balloon project.
2024 is going to be a hell of a year, people.
Get ready for garbage.
Or a good quesadilla.
How could we fit a paper mache? I mean, I guess it would be
Make a little one.
anyway. Yeah,
Just under 6 inches.
quinceañera.
My bad. It probably racist of me to just assume quesadillas are flush with
Pinatas.
With pinatas. I take it back. Yeah, the effigies burned. They're yelling. They're starting to lower Blurr down, and we know this shit's hot because it's steamy, and because the effigy also caught on fire.
Yes. Yep.
So they're lowering him in, but then Blurr is saved by the Empress of the planet. What's the name? Zemoji.
Zemojin, I think.
I've been calling him Zemojins.
Zemojin. It's Zemojin.
All right, Zemojin.
Some of these people are weird looking, man.
Yeah.
Their muscles are strange. I like the guy
Empress
with the Tarn mask.
Yeah.
Whoa. The Empress, she's like, "Hey, everybody, stop this stuff because we got Katsudan over here, and look who he's got with him. It's Nijika."
I should point out, and I missed it,
Got any more of this slug wine?
there's more
Vodka and wine.
technically, yeah, you could just have the wine.
No, man. I want that
Nah, man.
I want that slug wine.
I'm partying like it's 1997.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna point out that the Guardian statue of what the fuck is his name? Koduri. It looks, it almost looks like he's making that heart thing that people make in the videos.
Oh, so annoying.
I sound like my
Is he
fucking
a
father trying to
Zoomer?
explain TikTok, but like,
Their god is Gen Z.
yes,
Just trying to get them likes, y'all.
that's it.
Oh, all right. So the Empress says, hey, remember this lady? And Preceptor, Nijika, whatever they are, addresses the crowd, letting them know that this blue guy is innocent and stars still exist. And if everybody would just look out for the Quintessons, those are the devils that they seek. And at this point, the Quintesson shouts that the Nijika is possessed. And the crowd goes crazy and I guess storms the stage. And Cyclonus freaks out at the Quintesson. And he's like, they're going to fuck that thing up and we need that thing. So, yeah, a lot of stupid shit going on right now.
Yeah, so, again, super complicated.
Like, I'm curious how the writers wrote that and then they narrowed it down to this. Because it's all dumb. Like, the Quintessons are stupid, apparently.
Well, also Cyclonus is all over the place. He's like, oh, no, now that the chaos is happening, we need that thing.
Yeah, he's trying to learn the secret of the thing that he already knows the secret of. Cyclonus flies to the Nijika and grabs it. Katsudan jumps and grabs onto Cyclonus's ankle. And this part's hilarious because Cyclonus just takes to the skies. He could transform. Perhaps that would shake Katsudan off. But nope, we just get Katsudan dragged up into the atmosphere, into the Quintesson ship. I thought in my head at the time I first watched this, I thought it would have been funny if Cyclonus had just slapped the Quintesson, and then when he slapped him, he just spun around in his 5 faces.
Oh,
See,
real missed opportunity.
Hire me to write your slapstick comedy.
And it would have made like that ratcheting, spinning around sound.
We got this. Do the Foley work for me. After all this has happened, that's when Hot Rod and Magnus reach the city, just in time to see Cyclonus, Perceptigika, and Katsu headed toward space.
Do you guys know what the Legends manga is for Transformers?
I've never read
vaguely.
it, but I think I understand it exists.
So apparently in the Legends manga, Windblade, a character, is the younger sister of Nijika. But also there's a whole lore about how these aliens, the Zamojin, created the Legends world. I'm just putting that in there because there is some other relevant discussion from some of the later.
I don't know if that manga
Transformers
is supposed
universe.
to be. Is it G1 in the G1 universe? I should look up more of that.
But I'm just threw that in as a quick aside because there is a little bit more story that has been inspired by some of this stuff to the point where these people actually created the Legends universe.
Listener, if you have fallen in love with Nijika, as we have,
I have.
There's more for you to learn out there in the world.
And explain to us if you want.
Don't make us read it.
No.
You do it.
We're on the Quintesson ship. You got Cyclonus, you got Katsudan, you got Nijika. Katsu's taken captive. And they say, Perceptor, Nijika, whatever you are, give us the emulator or we are going to cover Katsu in ponzu sauce. And see, that's a good joke because of what I told you earlier.
That's a good joke.
Perceptor pulls...
So you might say they were like, give me your face.
Ooh, yeah, just like that. Perceptor pulls his face off and his Nijika face off, and the Quintessons grab that emulator to prepare the isolator key. Remember all that stuff from earlier?
Oh, yeah.
And then they just kind of, makes me sad. They just casually toss the remains of the Sky Dancer off the ship.
Yep.
Yeah, just like a limp doll.
And then one of the Quintessons just steps outside the ship and fires on Blurr's rope like an asshole.
You won't survive or something like that.
So Blurr's rope is cut by the laser beam. He falls into the terrifying hot liquid, but instead of killing him,
He has an orgasm.
Well, I said invigorates, but use your
capture
imagination.
Capture it.
All right.
It's awesome.
It is a lot of sensual mumbling down under there.
You are gonna regret leaving me here when I get free. You won't get free. Yeah.
He got his kinks out.
Was that you guys at the in the spits?
That's the slowest I've ever heard him talk, too. Like, maybe he's just really sexually frustrated.
Wow.
Like, just have him get some, and he'll just like, hey, how's it going, guys?
When I first heard it, I laughed and thought, that could be a little sexual, but it just really is.
It really is.
John Bushido
Nice and warm.
was flipping through a Wii magazine while preparing for that role. Wii? One of them like off-brand
We.
porno mags?
Never heard
I
of
don't know
we.
we.
O-U-I?
If Ryan don't know it, it don't
Oh.
exist.
I was thinking W.
He doesn't know about the exotic European porn
Ah.
that I would get into
You mean
in the 90s.
We.
I was thinking like we, like WEE, like urine centric, which is where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Blurr, he comes and it fixes him. It fixes his limp.
Yep.
He's now turgid. And he transforms and flies off into the Quintessons ship. I mean, not in, like he didn't crash into it. He goes through the open door, and he knocks the emulator / Perceptor symbol / Nijika face from the Quintessons tentacles. Magnus and Hot Rod jump on the ship, tackling Cyclonus, freeing Katsu. All the Transformers then hop from the ship. The Quintessons threaten the Transformers. They'll be trapped in this quadrant forever.
Which is like,
And-
I don't know why you're yelling that. Isn't that what you want?
Yeah, it is what they want. And I think I neglected to mention that they had actually fixed the isolator key.
Yeah,
with
no, you
the
said
face.
it.
Okay.
You said it.
Cyclonus then ditches the scene, and the Zemogen Empress expresses sadness because what will they take from us now? But Perceptor tells the Zemogens, hey, don't worry. The Quintessons will soon learn the joy of giving. Until this moment, I think I was stumped by that, but we'll come back to it. As the Quintessons disappear into space, the Starlight reappears, which grants the Zemogens back their telepathic abilities. They then enter their god statue, fix it up, fireworks. This is a special race. You see, its potential is as limitless as thought itself. This is where Katsudan commits to continuing his ancestors' spaceship engineering projects, and as he holds the corpse of Nijika in his arms, he pledges they will meet again. Out
Amongst the stars.
Among the stars. As we close out the episode, I ask the team, there's a few questions. So that's the end of the episode. So the Quintessons, well, are the Autobots and maybe Cyclonus stuck here forever?
No, I think the implication is the quadrant lock is just open now.
That confused me as
Then
well.
why would the Quintessons say you'll be stuck here forever? I think that, did they not?
Because they
didn't close it behind them?
I don't know, man.
But the quadrant lock is open, I guess, because the stars are
come
shining.
back.
But they had, that's just not explained. And I thought maybe it just hit, I was very confused, and I thought, is there maybe an implication that's very difficult to pick up on that Perceptor, because his symbol was used to fix the emulator key, that he, I don't know, put a good virus in it that kept the quadrant lock from
locking
and all that shit, maybe.
Okay, well,
I
didn't think
I
of
just
that
got
at
done.
all.
I just finished the episode, and then like 2 hours later, after I watched, I was like, "Wait a minute, how the fuck they get home?"
I had
don't know.
I had very different questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the Zemogen people have telepathy powered by starlight, which is why their guardian didn't work when the Quints blocked out the stars. But wouldn't their planet be completely black?
I mean, unless they had electricity, which they don't.
You're saying they should have no
Light.
light at all because
Because presumably they don't have a star. If they don't have starlight,
right.
I mean, if you didn't have a star, you
maybe
couldn't
it's-
really have shit.
No, you see, it's not. It's you've got to think of it like this. It's their sun. It doesn't work. It's those twinkling stars, man. It's those twinkling stars that gives them that magic. You know, gives them that power. I mean, is that not? Is
the
that
ones
not
from billions of light years away?
I know that's stupid, but is that not how basically this is being read? This is being.
I guess Also, I mean, presumably the planet would have a super hot core because that's how it supports life without a star. But then, how does photosynthesis work? Like,
we can't overthink this.
But
we
could
know.
life
I
exist
absolutely
on a
can.
planet?
That's
Can
my
life
job.
Can
That's
life
true.
exist on a
Good
planet
point,
without
good
a star? That,
I don't see why not.
I mean, maybe if
like a rogue,
intelligent
like a
life
rogue planet.
existed after the star went out, presuming the star didn't destroy the planet when it faded.
If you're asking if intelligent life could evolve on a planet without a star, like a rogue planet, I don't have. From what we understand about life, no.
Well, I guess they
But-
hypothesize there's life on what is
But
it?
there could be life.
Uranus's moons,
but
or
not
something.
well,
Not intelligent life. You're
yeah, like there's. They theorize there could be life on Europa, in the sea.
Life on Europa.
Doesn't even make sense.
I'd be
None
curious,
of this does.
I'd be curious to know what the sun looks like from a moon on.
It's very. It's
Uranus.
like
It looks like a star.
a very bright star.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it?
There are pictures available.
Yeah, you
that's
can-
a
they've done-
very
they've done that.
easy thing to answer.
All right, Google.
You'll believe it.
There are probes.
I'll
that have
believe it
been
when
out there
I'll believe it when I see
that have
it.
looked back at our star specifically.
That's Photoshop, man. They faked that shit. Very confusing ending.
It
To
is.
a very at least it's bookended by lots of confusion.
I didn't particularly like this episode, but I didn't hate it. I just was like more like,
yeah.
I was really
Same boat.
I think the the coolest thing about the whole episode is Perceptor getting placed inside this
That was kind of neat.
other character.
Did you say that's your iconic moment?
I don't know if I would call it.
So okay, we can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know.
Yeah, I would say
We'll go with
I
that.
would
We're
say the
jumping
I would
way
say the
ahead.
I'm
reveal.
sorry.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
well,
it's fine.
no, we haven't done.
I didn't have anything iconic about it, and that's about as iconic as it gets.
I think the reveal of Perceptor, realizing Perceptor is in the Nijika or is the Nijika in this, that is the iconic moment, and I think it's probably the only thing that I really liked about this episode.
I mean, apparently it created a whole Legends comic thing.
it's cool. There's a lot of potential here.
Sure.
There's a lot of potential here because there's a lot of there's a lot here.
There's
a
a
lot
lot of
unanswered.
There is a lot. I will say that they did a lot of world building
Yeah.
for sure.
It's creative.
Yes.
Just confusing.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know. I can't help but think there's now also an implication that behind the Autobot symbol, maybe in every Autobot or Decepticon for their symbol, lies their brain,
Their
or
soul?
their soul, or whatever. Yeah,
That would be an inconvenient place to put it.
yeah, because it's like a target.
I mean, not really, I guess. I don't know.
You got to put it somewhere.
Yeah. You'd think the center mass would be a good place to put it. It's like it's
On their forehead.
that. Well, that seems like a mistake.
Yeah, really. If evolution worked well, wouldn't our brains be in like our chest?
Yeah, clearly it doesn't work well.
Nope.
I wonder why it's in our
Fucked
head.
up. Well, we have a skull. I guess that's a pretty tough thing to get through.
I don't know. That's
I'll have to talk to a biologist.
yeah, they would probably have the answer.
I mean, I guess the answer is that evolution is only interested in making you survive well enough to survive. Like it's not interested in making you the most perfect organism ever.
No.
maybe we'd all survive better if our bodies developed a metallic barrel inside of our chest.
I feel
in
like-
which our brains could then be.
No, I feel
housed.
like the caloric load of creating that would be too heavy to. Obviously, if if evolutionarily speaking, that were the best design,
Yeah,
we would have it.
Or we'd be
Or we
headed.
just haven't got there
or
yet.
we'd be heading that direction.
haven't got there yet. We've removed ourselves from biological evolution.
No, we haven't.
We have.
Well,
Because
we
we have
control.
artificial
We have control over the environment.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean we don't evolve. Like,
No, I
we
know.
get cancer because we put shit in the atmosphere.
I
We
agree.
get,
I guess what I'm saying is that we now have control over it, where we're evolving in a way that we are doing it ourselves, as opposed
Sure.
to environmental constraints.
it is.
Yeah.
I guess maybe what you're saying is we're not evolving based on
Surviving.
our ability to survive the elements of nature.
Correct.
Perhaps.
On Earth.
Although I would probably, if you were to meet a culture that lived in the Himalayas, I'm sure that there would be genetic selection, things that are different about them that have evolved past that.
Basically,
need or
all I'm
whatever.
saying is we have decided to change the world to suit us as opposed to the other way around.
God damn. Alpha species. Hey-o.
Top of the pile.
For now. No.
USA.
No.
USA.
Until them orcas show up.
Oh, shit.
Team Orca. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, I am too. All about it.
Hey, say goodbye to Perceptor. He is
Yep.
clocking out from the series,
That's
ladies
it.
and gentlemen. Get a
I'd li-
clap off for Perceptor. We all love Perceptor.
I'd like to think that he actually stayed here away from the other Autobots making fun of him
Oh.
all the time.
Maybe he
I think if
got back in that Nijika
if
body.
I was him, I'd be
You know
like,
what I'm
I will
saying?
gladly go back to being a Nijika. And
That's some high status on this.
yeah,
planet.
and ends up living his life as a
Geisha-ish
as a
robot?
female.
What? I mean,
You don't know that she's female.
that's right.
She's presenting.
We
as
know
one.
that she is
Not
presenting as
necessarily.
what we perceive to be a humanoid female, but on this planet,
Who knows?
who knows?
Which is why it's so fucking weird they chose to use Asian culture on this planet.
New characters, voice actors. We had Katsudan, voiced by Jack Angel. Zamojin Empress, both past, the one from the past and the present, and Nijika herself was voiced by Mona Marshall, who we've talked about before because she voiced Aaron from that one Planet-y episode. Child's Play. And is Sheila Broflovsky most famous. That's probably what brought home the bacon. That Sheila Broflovsky
Fried up in a pan.
money. Nico Don, which I initially typoed and just had to capture this as Nike Don, which I just want to create a character around that idea.
I pictured Don King in sneakers.
Yes, perfect.
That was Frank Welker, who must have just been hanging out in the studio that day to give him such a small part. Although he also did voice Brutalo, that is the name of the dragony beast thing.
Yeah.
In the real world.
What's happening?
By the
Ryan?
way, each of us, for the record, refilled our slug wine.
I mean, with just
no,
wine.
with just wine.
Oh, you didn't put any of that slug
No,
in there.
man.
no, man. Don't be ridiculous.
I thought we were keeping it real.
Nope.
Nope.
All right.
Real stupid. In the real world, speaking of keeping it, the face of the Nijika, November 20th, 1986, in the American Top 40. We have a true number one for this week. The song Human by the Human League.
Oh, excellent. I love the Human League.
Good.
I wish facial expressions.
You want these hors d'oeuvres?
It was he just kept staring at me. I could see pain in his eyes. But the smile.
Maybe he
was-
made them.
Maybe somebody paid him to fuck with
like,
you.
He was weird, man. I just had to walk away.
To walk away. Number one for 1 week on the Hot 100 in 1986, Human was the lead single from the band's fifth studio album, Crash. It deals with the subject of infidelity. K. Delectico.
Cracking himself.
Human is a mid-tempo ballad and a lyrical exchange between a couple who has reunited after a separation. We're only human, made of all the things they say they're made of, and I fucked some guy while we were separated, and so did I. I fucked a girl or whatever. Apparently,
that doesn't feel like infidelity to me.
it's not. They were on a break.
That's right.
It's
References.
Apparently, the recordings for Human League's new album were not going well, and Virgin Records suggested the band accept an offer to work with producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis,
Ah, yes.
who we just talked about with Janet Jackson.
Fantastic producers.
Yeah, these guys seem like the go-to fix-it duo for floundering artists that need a direction like mid-career.
Excellent.
I mean, this was coming directly off of their console, like their production with Janet Jackson. I find this song very soothing. It has almost like a liquid tune that puts me in the mindset of like a coffee shop on a rainy afternoon.
It's a good song.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. No doubt. No diggity. If you
Back
will.
it up. Number 1 at the box office. Boys, number 1 for 2 weeks at the end of November and the beginning of December. We have a wonderful film. I'll give you a hint about what we're talking about.
Not Crocodile Dundee?
not.
Is this our first since Crocodile Dundee?
You've already given this away, though, I think.
Maybe.
Is
I'll
it?
just say double dumbass on you.
Yeah, it's Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country.
It's not.
It's a
The
Star
Voyage
Trek.
Home.
Fuck.
It's what?
It's Star Trek, but I got the wrong Star Trek
Yep.
movie.
It's number 4, The Voyage Home.
I saw that one in the theaters.
I did too.
Yeah, it was good.
I think you did too, Aaron, because I remember you talking to me about it.
No, I saw it at home on VHS. I saw the Search for Spock in the theaters.
Oh, wow.
I was very young.
Yeah, no shit.
It's one of my... The first movies I remember seeing in theaters are Ghostbusters. I saw... What's that fucking one you like? It was a double feature with Ghostbusters. Oh, no. It was a double feature with Karate Kid. The one with the... It's one of those karate movies.
The Last Dragon?
The Last Dragon. I saw that in theaters, except we walked out. My dad hated it, and he was like, we're leaving.
Oh, was that when you went to Needles?
Needles?
Didn't your, you...
Oh, Blythe, California?
Blythe.
No. He and my mom were still together at this time.
Oh, okay.
We're deep into sweet lore, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry,
no,
everyone.
Sorry. You know what? And it's all pointless. Star Trek. I saw Star Trek 3 in the theaters in Utah. It's one of the earliest movies I remember seeing.
Every time you mention your father walking out of The Last Dragon, it hurts my heart a little bit.
And I still haven't seen it, honestly, front to back.
Holy shit, I've seen it like 100 times.
They put it. We watched. Sorry, I'm going to keep going on. Bradley Newberry. That might be an APDC lore person as well.
Yeah, he's come up a few times.
He was one of the first friends I ever made.
Don't play a game with him.
When I moved to Missouri in second grade, and he invited me to a birthday sleepover at his house, and we had a double feature: The Never-Ending Story, then The Last Dragon, and I fell asleep during The Last Dragon. So every opportunity I've had to watch it. So good. Missed.
We'll have to get you watching The Last Dragon.
But hey, The Never-Ending Story.
That's a good movie.
Also
Killer.
good. Very sad.
Yeah.
Artex.
Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home was the second Star Trek film directed by Leonard Nimoy, and you might also know it as the one with the whales.
Mm-hmm.
The plot of this one finds the officers of the USS Enterprise returning to Earth to face trial after the events of the former film. They're flying a Klingon bird of prey rechristened the Bounty after Part 3, where in the grand tradition of blowing up the Enterprise kind of started. They receive a warning about a cylindrical probe which has shown up in Earth orbit, wreaking havoc on weather patterns and transmitting a strange signal. Spock determines that the signal is, in fact, the song of the humpback whale, heard in the air instead of underwater, and that the probe will continue to transmit that song and break shit until the call is answered. The only sticking point is that the humpback whale is extinct in the 23rd century, so the crew must perform a slingshot maneuver, bullshit plot device around the sun,
Sure.
and travel back in time to 1986 San Francisco in an attempt to kidnap them some whales.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
I know
it's
it was
great.
And the scene, and a lot of our listeners already know all this, but the scenes of them getting filmed wandering around San Francisco, there's some humor in the movie that was...
It's a much lighter...
Yeah.
Star
Really enjoyed
Trek movie.
Star Trek, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was by design. This is what I said. This one is generally lighter than the others, features an environmental crisis rather than a conventional foe. And I think, like you said, this film is one of the best and has a lot of really memorable, fun individual scenes. The whole transparent aluminum one with McCoy and Scotty is, hello, computer.
We're looking for the nuclear vessels.
We're looking for the nuclear vessels. Apparently the role of cytologist Dr. Gillian Taylor, played by Catherine Hicks, was in an earlier version an astrophysicist written for Eddie Murphy.
Interesting.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy was a huge...
That seems out of place.
Yeah.
But explain this.
Well, Eddie Murphy was a huge Star Trek fan, and the first writer approached to do a script was Daniel Petrie Jr., writer of Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
I feel like that would have been fucking awful.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked, I don't think. I still, though, think that, it's not too late. Let's put Eddie Murphy in a Star Trek.
Let's go. Let's take a trip around the sun and change the course of that movie.
Oh, sure, yeah. But that's cool. Eddie Murphy's is a big Star Trek fan. I've heard some interviews with him. He's actually a cool dude. That's my take.
All right, that's Caleb's take. The film received mostly positive reviews.
So
and
hot.
crushed at the box office. It earned $133 million on a $26 million budget.
Yes.
Was nominated for 4 Academy Awards: Best Cinematography, Sound Effects Editing, and Original Score.
Did it win any of them?
No, it did not win any of them. Ooh. It is interesting, though, about the original Star Trek films that they basically take place within a really tight narrative. Like, at least 2, 3, and 4 basically take place back to back, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And 5 isn't very far behind. And the old adage is the even ones are the good ones.
Spock early in the movie isn't quite himself, right?
He's kind of weird.
Or did he come back to himself at the end of the third?
Kind of, but at the very beginning, I mean, basically they transfer it from McCoy back into Spock, and but he's still kind of off a little bit.
Which makes for good banter between Bones and Spock and everybody else, because Spock's just kind of off, which just agitates Bones more, and it just makes for more entertaining banter, more humor, because Spock is like this weird, like you've taken your straight man and just made him like off. He's still a straight man, but he's just a fucking weird.
It's kind of like
he's almost like he's not the straight man at that point. It's almost like you flipped it, where Bones is almost the straight man then.
Once they get on Earth and they're trying to
because Spock is just kind of off. It's like it's like 2 straight men, and one of them's.
They actually, I think, say that in one of the summations of that McCoy is almost playing a straight man to himself.
Yeah. He's his own worst. Yeah. That's really cool.
This is a fun fact. Nimoy and Shatner both received $2.5 million each for the film, and the cast's rising salaries caused Paramount to create a new television series, Star Trek TNG, The Next Generation.
What?
With less expensive, lesser-known actors. I guess prior to a couple of years before, they had thought of doing the original cast for a series called Star Trek Phase 2, with the original actors reprising their roles. But
I think it turned out really. I'm very thankful it went the way it did.
Yeah, double dumbass on you.
Yeah, double dumbass on you.
The Wikipedia page is very long and interesting. If you have any interest, I encourage everybody to go read it. That is that movie. Fun facts. I'm smoking weed now.
What? When did that start?
A little bit before we left for Iceland.
Are you high? Are you high right now?
No.
Smoking
right
it, or eating it, or both?
Well, no, were you going to say injecting it?
No, ingesting.
No, just smoking it.
Eating it is.
I haven't tried edibles yet.
Smoking it gets you. Smoking's like this. It gets you're stoned and then you're not stoned. And then eating it is like you just slowly get more and more high until you're like, oh, I don't want to be this high. Oh no,
that doesn't sound good for me.
I
think
don't
maybe I was
overdo it.
just smoking it wrong before, and also like the last time I really tried it, I was in my late 20s, early 30s.
Is that where we broke that bong?
That was before that probably, but I
remember he did it and destroyed a guitar.
Yep.
He just I think it was his mom's guitar.
Nope. I don't know. It was some garbage guitar. It wasn't important.
Well, that's cool. You're smoking weed.
Yeah, well, it's completely legal in Missouri now. But although West says the weed that we get from the dispensary near us is very mid for the price that we're paying, so I'm thinking
young
of
person
my
terms.
medical card, or maybe just start growing it because I can't do anything normal. I have to make everything weird.
I mean, if
grow
you
it,
can,
dude.
Grow it. Perfect your strain.
Yeah.
Get
but
your genetics
like,
right.
It's been nice.
You may not evolve, but your weed can.
So it's been very nice.
Yeah. I think. I guess I was just probably usually when I did it before, I think I was probably at a party situation and I maybe was already drunk.
Yes.
And so now it's just like I take a hit and just like wait like 20 minutes and I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yep, there you go.
Does it do anything for you? Is it therapeutic?
It has helped my appetite.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And yeah,
how stereotypical.
Well,
but good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do when I smoke is really not talking to people, but like watching television. What's your experience with media?
That's interesting because it does have a certain for me a concentration factor of like, not to be too Kevin Smith about it, but like I've noticed that sometimes when I smoke it and I start like writing or editing something, it really focuses me in like I can eliminate a lot of distraction.
Yeah. I really zero in when I'm watching something. I get really, I like that's why I really think that with you saying that I really think that you should give 200 Motels another chance.
Maybe I will.
Or actually, in all seriousness, you should give Stanley Kubrick another chance.
Yeah, that's true. I should probably get high.
At least
2001.
That's the one. I think we could just do an episode on 200 Motels and 2001.
Actually, I keep thinking
Too long
I keep thinking of things that you should watch high, and then I'm like, wait, just watch everything high.
I don't really smoke weed, but I would do it with Ryan, and maybe I could figure out a way to do it in enough moderation that the effects that are displeasant to me.
Should we do an episode all smoking pot?
420. 2024
for episode
Mark
420.
Your calendars.
Episode 420.
Oh, I was not good. I was meant like the one that comes out on 420.
Jesus
Wait
Christ.
another 4 years for that one.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that I'm glad
I've just found a nice balance.
Does
with
it do
and
anything
it's
for anxiety, depression, or anything like that for you?
I can't say for certain. I will say that it just makes me feel good. So
That's
it makes
good.
me feel calm and nice. So that can't hurt.
No.
That's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, the two things I like to do stoned is watch TV and actually be out in nature. So whatever floats your boat, man. Cool.
That's the real world.
Nice.
Well, that takes us to
Script deviations.
There's no script for this one online. It was written by Mary Screenes and Steve Skeets.
Screeny and Skeets.
These are hard names to say, especially in conjunction. This is the only Transformers script penned by either writer, although both wrote for comic books. Mary Screenes created the character Omega the Unknown for Marvel, along with Steve Gerber. She also wrote for G.I. Joe and Jem. And Steve Gerber described her as, quote, such a private person that when she gets back to town, she'll probably castigate me for having just revealed that she's such a private person. Which is very cute. Oh my God, they're friends. Steve Skeets wrote for Aquaman and co-created Hawk and Dove with Steve Ditko. And Steve died this March at the age of 80. Curiously, Mary published several horror stories for DC under the name Virgil North, which began her long collaboration with Steve Skeets, often submitting stories under his name because of bad blood between her and editor Joe Orlando.
T.
Maybe he didn't like that she was a private person.
Joe Orlando doesn't sound like a nice person.
Oh, do you know anything about him?
No, why do you just think his name sounds like a
Because he's from
dickhead
Florida?
name? No, sounds like a piece of shit name for a piece of shit person.
Jesus Christ, shots fired at Joe Orlando.
I know nothing about him.
So for this episode, the character and set designs of the Zemojans were loosely based on some aspects of ancient East Asian culture, from their clothes, architecture, Buddha-esque guardian, and their harsh mountain climate. Katsudon is genetically patterned after a Chinese warrior, whereas Nijika's dress and face paint closely resembles a Japanese geisha, complete with hand fan. Some of their nomenclature seems to closely relate to Japanese language as well. The name Zemojin appears to use the Japanese suffix jin, meaning people or person from blank. Katsudon may or may not be a play on the Japanese pork cutlet and rice dish.
You've done the
Aaron.
research and you acted so surprised.
I copy-pasted it. I didn't read it until just now. Nijika is an actual Japanese girl's name. It can be written dozens of different ways.
Nice.
Did I have anything else? That was it. That's the script deviations.
Excellent. Okay, cool.
How would you guys rate this thing? We've already covered iconic moment.
Well, I didn't hate it.
I didn't either. I think the Quintessons plan was dumb. I think
Yeah.
they just should have firebombed the planet if they were that worried about it. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's dumb. Why did Galvatron? Why was he so interested in that portal to begin with? He's just like,
it's
there.
all for me.
That's there.
Bang,
I
bang.
want whatever that is.
Exactly.
If there's a closed door, I want it open for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what's in that door? Is
What's
it
in it?
gold?
Yeah. I'm gonna give the scheme a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
It's
not very good.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to give it a pork cutlet out of sashimi.
Nice. Aaron?
I'm gonna give it nothing.
All right. Wow, we really went
I've
far
never heard of
afield
a
on this
nothing.
ratings.
Yeah.
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
Get ready to party because Hot Rod is back, baby. You know, I was gonna have ChatGPT write that part, and then I forgot.
You have got to stop talking to
I-
ChatGPT.
Yeah. That's
This
true.
was just gonna be the ChatGPT episode.
Yeah.
Just one time.
Okay.
Give my fellow Decepticons! Give till it hurts!
If you'd like to help support the show, we invite you to check out our Patreon page. It has several levels of support that come with a wide variety of benefits. Of course, there's the booty box at the $5 level.
Hell yeah.
Best merch in the game, they say. That's the thing. That's the thing. Our Donald Trump always said. They say I'm the best president there ever was. They say it'd be world peace if I was still president.
I fucking hate that guy.
I do too, but we've talked
He
about
is the
this.
most hilarious
Like,
president
that
of
is
all
what
time.
that is what I hate too. It's like I hate him, but like I'm like, why is he so funny?
I don't know if he'll ever. Someday he'll go away.
Yeah, well, somebody will be dead, but
Yeah.
like, sad, low energy. What
Not-
a low energy corpse.
Not until Jan 6 Part 2.
What?
Electric
January 6th.
Part 2. Electric Boogaloo.
The storming the Capitol.
That's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. Just expect it. It's gonna happen.
God.
He's gonna be the Republican nominee, and he's gonna
Yes.
lose the election, and they're gonna do it again.
You don't think it'll be DeSantis?
No, that guy
No.
mathematically has
No.
such. Trump owns way over 50% of.
They're going to give
Republican
Trump
vote
the
right now.
nomination again. And
Yeah,
they're
he's
all
gonna
gonna
win
and
it.
they're all not going to want it. They're all not going to want to do it, but they're going to do it. And then they're all like going to I don't want to vote for this guy, but
Sorry to bring everybody down at the end of this
I'd
episode.
rather vote for this guy
My
than a
fault.
Democrat.
My fault.
They're all going to just do it. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck everybody. Fuck it.
Booty boxes. If you want to, we could do we should do a politics only episode. Or you know what would be kind of
Ooh.
funny? Politics
Count?
in the world of Transformers. Bonus
I don't
material.
like any of this.
Here's
I'm not
something
All right,
There's
maybe we'll do
nobody.
it, maybe we won't. But if we do, you'll only find out if you're a Patreon member. Check out our store as well. You can, we got some merch. We need to put up our
Some of the new merch?
whatever. Yeah, the new merch up
pins?
there. Haven't done that yet, and need to figure out the TeePublic thing.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm slow. Finally, you can just buy us a drink. The exciting, Drunktastic.
Caleb's no longer playing the theme song anymore.
Oh, he forgot about that. Additionally, just give us some
I
reviews.
can't believe it. I did forget.
Reviews, stars,
Oh my
Apple
God.
Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and there's also virtual stuff that you can do to show your support. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them at
Be our friends.
APODcast. Show notes, follow-up materials, autopoddecepticast.com.
If you want to toast the podcast and your credit don't stink, then reach inside your wallet now and buy us a drink.
If you want to check us out on YouTube, you can do that too. We have upwards of 5 or 6 views per episode that's on there. I don't know why we're still doing it, but
Let's put it.
Whatever.
Let's get it up there.
whatever.
People find it.
It's my United States of whatever.
Yeah.
It was your all's idea to put stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
I think it was
get
good.
it.
Ooh, more salt.
I opened this.
No, different
I
salt.
just opened up my salt jar so Caleb could try the holiday salts. How are they? Rosemary.
So salty.
It's also got these red berries. They look. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Salty goodness.
Crunchy salt.
Actually, those taste like
It does taste like the holidays.
July 2023, the Pacific Northwest will be transformed. Don't miss CybFest Northwest. Featuring special guest Paul Eiding, the voice of Perceptor. Panels hosted by Mike Cybert Radio Podcast. Robotics. Contests and trivia. Local artists and dealers. Exciting raffle prizes. A Transformers experience by the fans, for the fans. Get your own exclusive Generation Zero transforming action figure. This Cybertronian festival features the Bumblebee Camaro inspired by the films. July 8th at Kent Commons Community Center. Immerse yourself in CybFest Northwest. More at CybFestNW.com. 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 CybFestNW.com.
Hello there. I'm Paul Eiding. Now, some of you might know me from video games that I have voiced. Metal Gear Solid, Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft, God of War, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, a whole bunch of video games. Or some of you might know me from Grandpa Max and Ben 10, or No Zone and Toxic Crusaders, or a bunch of other ones. Most importantly, I hope you know me from G1 Transformers. I'm the voice of Perceptor. Now, folks at CybFest Northwest, they know that, because I'm going to be joining everybody up there. Kent, Washington, July 8th. I'm looking forward to it. Listen, if you're in the area, I hope you can join us. I promise we'll have a good time. We'll be talking all things Transformers, or all things whatever you want to talk about. So join us, all right? July 8th, CybFest Northwest. See you there.
Autopilot Decepticons is sponsored by Blurr.